Okay. All right, so we're going to be talking about syndromes affecting the sciatic and femoral nerves. Okay. So first of all, we need to know what the sciatic nerve is. So the sciatic nerve, also called the ischiatic nerve, is a large nerve in humans and other vertebrate animals, which is the largest branch of the sacral plexus and runs alongside the hip joint and down the lower limb. So it begins in the lumbar region of the vertebral column and goes all the way down the leg to the foot. So it supplies the whole leg from the vertebral column all the way to your foot. So that's what the sciatic nerve is. So the structures of the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is the longest and largest nerve in the human body. Like I said, it starts from the lower back in the lumbar region all the way to the foot. At its thickest point, it is about as wide as an adult thumb. That's how big it is. The sciatic nerve is formed in the lower spine by the combination of motor and sensory fibers from spinal nerves L4 to S3. These spinal nerves belong to a larger group of nerves in the lower spine called the lumbosacral plexus. This long, thick, and bulky nerve runs along the back of the thigh and leg and terminates in the foot. The nerve supplies most areas of the thigh, leg, and foot. The mixed sensory and motor, which means this nerve is mixed with both sensory and motor functions, provide the majority of the functions in the lower limbs and makes actions such as walking, running, climbing, lifting weights, and standing possible. So as you can see here, this is a picture of it. In the picture on the right, you can see that it starts all the way up there and goes all the way down the leg to the foot, right? So as you can see, that's where it starts. So if I could get a clear picture, I was not able to get a clear picture that shows how it starts in the lumbar region and then runs down along the foot. So, but that's what we have. Okay. The syndrome of the sciatic nerve. So a syndrome, first of all, a syndrome is a set of medical signs and symptoms which are correlated with each other and often associated with a particular disease or disorder. When a syndrome is paired with a definite cause, then that it becomes a disease. So here is a list of syndromes affecting the sciatic nerve. First we have sciatica syndrome, which refers to a pain that radiates along the path of the sciatic nerve, which branches from your lower back through your hips and buttocks and down each leg. Typically, sciatica affects only one side of your body. So when you have sciatica, it's only on one leg. Like you only feel pain on one leg, whereby you feel stiffness, you can't walk properly, and so on, so on. So that's sciatica syndrome. And then we have also a syndrome called spondylolisthesis. And this is a disorder that most often affects the lumbar spine. It occurs when one vertebra slips forward over an adjacent vertebra. When the vertebra slips and this is displaced, it presses on the nerves or the nerve roots below. This ultimately causes compression and often results in sciatica symptoms. So this disorder is the one that causes the syndrome in the nerve because it starts by the vertebra pressing together. And this, when it presses together, then it leans onto the nerve, on the sciatica nerve. And then this starts to cause problems and leads to sciatica syndrome. So you're either born with development spondylolisthesis or it develops during childhood. On the other hand, acquired spondylolisthesis can be caused by parts of the spine breaking down over time, which is spinal degeneration, physical stress from activities like weightlifting or gymnastics, and then trauma such as from a car accident. And then we also have piriformis syndrome, and this is it's named for the piriformis muscle and the pain caused when the muscle irritates the sciatic nerve. So this syndrome also can lead to sciatica syndrome. So sciatica syndrome is like one of the main ones. And then we have these sub-syndromes that also lead to sciatica syndrome. So then the sciatic nerve runs beneath the piriform muscle, and then the piriform syndrome can cause sciatica when the muscle spasms become inflamed, or the muscles become inflamed. Inflammation can cause the muscles to swell and compress the sciatica nerve, whereas the muscle spasms may impact people whose sciatica nerve runs through the muscle itself. This is because the sciatica nerve gets squeezed as the muscles contract. So then those were the syndromes of the sciatica nerve. So now we're going to talk about the femoral nerve. The femoral nerve is a major nerve supplying the anterior compartment of the thigh. It is the largest branch of the lumbar plexus and arises from the dorsal divisions of the central rami of the second, third, and fourth lumbar nerves. So the femoral nerve and the sciatic nerve are not the same. The femoral nerve is on the anterior part of the thigh and only ends right above the thigh or above the knee. But then the sciatica nerve is in the posterior part of the leg, and it starts, the femoral nerve also starts in the lumbar region. The sciatica nerve starts in the lumbar region, but goes all the way to the foot. So basically we can say femoral nerve is in the anterior part of the thigh, and then sciatica nerve is in the posterior part of the thigh and runs all the way down to the foot. So then, So syndromes of the, next, please, thank you. Syndromes of the femoral nerve. So femoral, this is called femoral neuropathy, or it can be called femoral nerve dysfunction. It's one of the possible cause of movement and sensation problems in the legs. Femoral neuropathy occurs when something affects the femoral nerve, which starts in the pelvis and goes all the way down the leg. The femoral nerve helps your leg move and gives sensation to the front of the leg. So it gives sensation to the front of the leg because, like I said, it's in the anterior part of the leg, of the thigh. Symptoms of femoral neuropathy. The main symptoms of femoral neuropathy are pain, burning, tingling, and reduced sensation or numbness in the leg. You may also experience weakness in the affected leg. For example, it may buckle suddenly, or you may have trouble going up a flight of stairs. Buckling means, like, for example, you may be standing and then your leg begins to shake and lose weakness, and then you might even fall if you don't regain balance. So then what causes femoral neuropathy? The potential causes of femoral neuropathy include an injury, like I said, trauma, excessive pressure on the nerve, and then, or something pressing on the nerve, such as a tumor or another growth. So tumors pressing, if a person has a tumor somewhere near the nerve, and then it grows in or moves or is in the direction of the nerve and begins to press on it, and it can cause femoral neuropathy as well. Injury to femoral nerve can be caused by a fractured pelvis, a catheter procedure in the femoral artery, internal bleeding in the pelvis, wearing belts that are too tight, lying in the lithotomy position, similar to common position used for childbirth, on your leg with your legs bent 90 degrees. So lying or sleeping in this position a lot can also cause femoral neuropathy. So what is meralgia parastica? This is also a type of syndrome or disease that is associated with the femoral nerve. So it is also known as Bernard-Roth syndrome. It's a type of femoral nerve dysfunction that affects the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. This portion of the femoral nerve gives sensation and feeling to the skin of your thigh. The symptoms of meralgia parastica include burning, tingling, and numbness, specifically on the skin of the thigh. These symptoms are more prevalent on the outer side of the thigh with this condition. It's on the outer side because, like we said, it affects mostly the lateral nerve, the lateral femoral nerve. And then this type of femoral neuropathy is usually caused by repetitive leg motions, hip injuries, weight gain, or wearing a belt too tight. So sometimes people can confuse sciatica with femoral neuropathy. So then femoral neuropathy and sciatica often have similar symptoms. Both conditions can involve weakness, tingling, numbness, burning, and pain in the legs. The sciatica nerve starts in your lower back and runs all the way down the back of your leg. It controls the muscles in the back of your knee as well as other leg muscles. Where the two conditions differ is the cause. Pressure on or damage to the sciatic nerve causes sciatica, while pressure on the femoral nerve causes femoral neuropathy. Sciatica tends to affect the back of the leg more than the front. So you'll know the difference because sciatica affects the back of the leg more because the sciatic nerve is at the posterior side of the leg, while the femoral neuropathy, like that. So it starts in the lumbar region and runs down the back of the leg. That's sciatica. But femoral neuropathy affects the front part of the leg. So that's how you will know the difference. Once you feel the symptoms in the front part of the leg more and not at the back, then you know it's femoral neuropathy. But if you feel the symptoms in the back of the leg and not the front, then you can say it's sciatica. So, yes, thank you for your attention.
Jenny next.